Hey everybody, AceFangirl here with the debriefing for Finding Paradise. I know that this quality is terrible and I don't look as nice as I normally do in this debriefing, in these debriefings, not this one in particular, although I don't look nice, but there's a reason for it. So I literally just recorded the finale, finished like probably 5 minutes ago, and I honestly didn't want to leave this recording the debriefing until the morning when I would forget everything I wanted to say, because this was just such a important game that I think we need to talk about it now. So yeah, Finding Paradise was a journey, and I'm really glad that I had all of you on it with me, because I definitely needed the support. I appreciate all of your likes, all of your comments, all of your views. It means a lot to me to see other people enjoying this game as much as I did, either for the first time or for the second or third or millionth, I don't know. But yeah, I was really happy with the support for this project, because it was really fun to be able to converse with people in the comments about what we think things mean and all of that stuff, because this is a game that in some ways is pretty open to interpretation, and I mean, people suggested things that I never would have thought of on my own, and hopefully I suggested things that other people wouldn't have thought of. That's like the beauty of this kind of game. So I wanted to say that first, and then obviously, God, it was so good. I said it in the finale, but I'm really interested in how this is kind of like a reversal of what To the Moon was. In To the Moon, we were finding fantasy in Johnny's reality, and this one we were trying to determine what was reality from Colin's fantasy. And I think it's really interesting when you take those two dichotomies as a dichotomy that should be singular, and really explore the themes in that. I don't know, I really connected a lot with Colin, through his life, that he felt the need to make up someone imaginary to be his first friend, because he was socially awkward and didn't have a lot of friends. And I mean, I said this at some point in an episode also, but even today I tend to live in my own head a lot, and rather than socialize, because it's exhausting for me sometimes. And so I really could see where Colin was coming from. But I mean, there's also obviously the lesson that Faye is trying to teach him is very important. If you continuously live in your own head for your entire life, you're gonna miss everything that's going on around you. And that's why you end up with regrets and you feel the need to call Sigma Corps. But, God, there's just so much to think about with this game. I mean, Colin and Faye's story, and then, of course, everything that's going on with Neil, which they kind of left that on a huge cliffhanger, didn't they? Because we see Roxy and Rob at the end in Neil's office, but we don't know what they're talking about. Something about a girl. Is it Faye? Is she officially a part of his interface now? Because that would be kind of rad. But I don't know if there's going to be another game. I haven't seen anything about another game yet, but I assume there will have to be one. Because there's so many questions about what Neil was doing that are left unanswered. Why is he taking heavy-duty painkillers still? Why did he feel the need to switch out the machines to one that did not have a stabilizer? So many questions. But, I mean, hopefully they're gonna answer them, because I mean, we're as much in the dark as Eva is on this one, and I'm hoping that they're gonna give us some of those answers someday, because I'm madly curious about what's going on with Neil. And I mean, obviously we still don't know. I was hoping that we would get some closure on it at the end of the game, but we did not get any, and it left us with more questions than answers. But yeah, okay, back to the main story. What were the other points I wanted to hit? I thought it was interesting, it's interesting seeing the spouse's reaction to the person calling Sigma Corps, because with Johnny in To the Moon, that wasn't something that we really got to see, because he didn't have any family, and Lily and just Lily actually was totally on board with him calling Sigma Corps. But in this case, Colin did have family, and their levels of variation with it, how much okay they were with it, that's really interesting. I mean, if I was married and my husband wanted to call Sigma Corps, I don't know how I would feel about that either, because, like, it's kind of like you have, like, this major regret that you want to deal with, and, like, you feel like our life together wasn't good enough, like, what? But, I mean, I was happy with the way it ended. I mean, granted, Colin did say don't mess with my family, and I was like, okay, I won't do that. But, I mean, basically, Faye solved every problem by just not letting them see Sigmund Core in the first place. Was my understanding. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that was what I got out by just not letting them see that commercial. She fixed it because it didn't get him thinking about all these regrets that he had and all of that stuff, and instead he kind of accepted the regrets as part of life, which in my opinion is what you probably should do, because they're always gonna be there. You're always gonna have something. So, I mean, yeah, I guess. I do wonder what would have happened if there are 2 points that I could have done something differently that I'm curious about, and that I might go do a replay of for my own personal satisfaction later in the future. One is whether I would tell Asher and Sophia about what was going on in Colin's memories. I chose not to, and apparently that was a less popular choice. Apparently people totally did tell them. And I mean, I do think my choice was a little bit OOC. I feel like Neil would probably tell them, because Neil's kind of a wild card. But I, as a person, did not want to tell them, because I felt like it was inappropriate. But there's a part of me that wonders what would have happened if I had told them. And would they have been able to offer insight? Would Sophia have gotten mad that there was another woman, even though she wasn't real? Like, I don't think we didn't know that she wasn't real then. But, I don't know. Would something have happened differently? Like, I mean, I'm sure, but would that have significantly affected anything? I don't know. According to what people said in the comments, I don't think so. Apparently, according to, Shiseiyono, there is a point where something splits off, and I think I might know what it is. I felt like maybe it's whether you beat Faye or not. Because, like, I don't know what happens if you beat her, because eventually, like, for the first set of minigames, I just didn't. And then for the second set, I chose, like, for the actual, like, Final Fantasy status battle, I chose not to, because I didn't want to by that point. I wanted to see if I could recruit her to my side diplomatically instead of beating her up. Which worked, you know. But I wonder if you'd have actually, like, beat her up, what would have happened differently? Would you have had to brute force everything, or would you have just given up? Like, that's something interesting that, that merits further exploration. But, speaking of Faye, it makes me wonder, because, you know, we have that scene with Neil and Faye, and Neil, like, went and talked to her, and he got the memory core from her, but we don't know what he said. It makes me wonder if Neil had planned all of that from that point, and he told her, look, we'll let you do it, we'll leave if you just let us get done what we need to get done, and then I'll talk you into leaving. Because I feel like that might be the most logical thing, but on the offhand, she seemed a little bit surprised that he was doing it, because, I mean, she asked him why and all that, but, I mean, she could have still just been thinking why the whole time, I don't know. Oh, sorry, it's getting late, but I really wanted to get all my thoughts out now. I'm happy with how it ended. I think Faye and Colin really needed that conversation together, in order for Colin to finally, like, come to terms with everything that happened with Faye, and so I'm really, really glad that Faye decided to show up at the end, of his life and say, hey, it's time, like, and that, I mean, I mentioned it in the finale as well, but that particular line, like, they're waiting for you, it's time to go home, like, really hit me hard, because my grandfather passed away just a few days ago, and, it's just, like, I'm trying to think of it that way, and, not as, instead of thinking it of, like, a sad, like, he's gone, I'm trying to think, like, he's in heaven now, probably teaching the angels how to play dominoes, and he's home. So, I mean, it's hard to think about death in that context, but, I mean, yeah, I think I really needed that right now. Like, just to see that scene and really think about, like, what it means and that kind of thing. But yeah, that's why I got probably a bit more teary at the end than I would have. I mean, I probably still would have cried a little bit, but like that was a little bit of extra crying, and yeah. So, okay, let's see. What else do I need to talk about for the end of this? I think that's about all I have about Finding Paradise. Obviously, if you have any more questions, want to specifically request that I do something different, record something different, like if you want to see what happens when I fight Eva and fail, or if you want to see what happens when I tell Asher and Sophia, I think I have both of those saves. Not sure about the first one, but I'll have to check. But I can always play through the Asher and Sophia one until I get to that point. So if you want to see that, let me know down below in the comments. If you want to talk theories about Neil, please do that in the comments. I would love to hear it. Because I'm hoping there's gonna be something. Maybe some DLC? Or something to the Moonhead DLC. Like, maybe we'll get some Christmas DLC for this. I don't know. I hope that happens. That'd be cool. Yeah, okay. So, schedule for the upcoming weeks. I am taking next week off as usual for my hiatus between projects, and then after that we are finally going to get back to Dandelion. We have one more route left to finish, and that is Jisoo, and so we are going to do that. And then after that, who knows? I mean, I do, but I'm not telling you. Not yet. But it's something I'm very, very excited for, and I think a lot of people will be excited for it once they find out what it is, because it's been something that's been pretty requested from me, specifically. So, that's the schedule for the next couple weeks, so, it'll take about 6 weeks to get through Dandelion, probably, because, you know, I do a month per video, so get ready for some longer videos again, during the week, and, yeah, so communication. Obviously, if you are not subscribed to me, subscribe down below. Click that little bell icon if you want to be notified when I post videos, but I usually post at noon Eastern every Wednesday and Saturday. Go follow me give me a follow on Twitch. That's sweet Twitch. I do live streams Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern, and Tuesday at usually around 9 or Thursday, usually around 9 or 10 Eastern, just like a late night stream. I have a Twitter. Go follow me on Twitter. I have a Tumblr. You can go follow me on Tumblr. I hope you're putting all of these on the bottom of the screen. Future D, love you. Twitter in particular, because that's where I tweet about what I'm gonna stream and let you vote on what I stream. So definitely give that a follow. And I think that's everything. D, if I missed anything, put it at the bottom. No, we're good. So, with that, I am officially bringing Finding Paradise to a close. So, but it's definitely a chapter of LP history that I'm not going to forget very soon. So, thank you all so much for joining me for this adventure, and I hope that you enjoyed it as much as I did, because I had a great time. Also, quite cried a lot, but that's okay. Yeah, so I will see you in a week or so for the first episode of Jisoo's route in Dandelion. I'll see you then. Bye!